Before we start onto this model, we wanted to break this reference images into sections. Now what I wanted to start with is, I wanted to start with that red base, then I'll make all those side railings, then so on, going to the lower section, to the tires, and so on to the handle. So now what that red section looks like. To me it looks pretty much like a cube, the one we created before. It just has a different width and height. So I'm going to start by creating a cube. Create polygon primitives cube. But how do you move a 3D object? And that is once you have an object selected, and there are these three operations right up here, pointed right in that section. Now the first one is the translate tool, second one is the rotate tool, and third one is a scale tool. Now they also have shortcut, like if I hit W, it's going to give you these arrows, which are already on right now. So when the arrows are there, you can move them in any direction. Hold that tip and with the left mouse button, and you can move it in any direction, and so on, moving that with up and down and sideways as well. So if you want to move flat against something, let's say you want to move it flat against the wall, then I might grab this one. It won't go into the wall, just move around the wall. And if I want it to move on the floor, then I'll grab this one. But moving it in 3D space, then is the center one, and same way over this one as well. Now that was the translate tool. Now next tool is the rotation. Shortcut for this rotation tool is E. You can switch between translate and rotation with W, E, and then for scale is the third one, which is R. These are the three shortcuts, and it works in the same way. Translate, move, you can see these values change X, Y, Z here, and then rotation, rotate in any direction. You can rotate specific in one direction or from center in all three directions. And you can see the rotation changing over here, and same way you can also set up scale anywhere you want, and you can see the scale value changes as well. So I'm going to reset this back to the default position. So I'm going to grab or translate and rotate and hit 0 and enter. That would reset it back to the center. Now let's try to match this to a red section on this wagon. So for that one, I'm going to extend this in the blue because I want this to be my front axis, and then from the side just roughly so it matches that red scale. So and look like it's too much height, so I'm going to push it something around here. Now that's how it feels now. Look like it kind of matches, maybe a little too wide right about here. To make a railing, I'm going to take this object and I'm going to duplicate it. You can duplicate it by going under edit, duplicate, and there's the shortcut for it, Ctrl+D. And now when I click on it, you will see two cubes in the outliner. Now the second cube, I'm going to scale up, and then same time I'm going to scale in as far as I can get close to what it looks like in our reference wagon. So then we're going to move it back to where it is in the reference image, right about here. Alright, so at this point, let's take a look at some wireframe options here, because so right now we are looking at shaded view, but we don't see the wireframe when they are not selected. Now there's some options under the shading here. You can see there's a wireframe that shows you only wireframe, and there's a shortcut for it, 5. And then going down into smooth shade all, that's where we were before. Now the third option is wireframe on shaded, shortcut is Alt+5. Now this is the one we wanted to turn on. That way we can see the shaded view. Along with this we can also see the wireframe. Now this wireframe is not thick enough. So now what we can do to change that is going under Window, Setting Preference, under Preferences. Right in this window, I wanted to click on Display, and then down here we have set the line width. Now take a look at that line width, and when I set this to 4 and hit save, now that line width got wider and it's much easier to see.